In the past, I was very interested in doing the Padsplit, and it's been like maybe over a year that I was interested in the model. So I researched the model. I did basically I did a lot of research about it, and so I currently have long-term um, rentals, and I'm happy with them so far. So, but it was to me that Passlit was the new idea there, that I can rent by room. So imagine that if you have a house that have four bedrooms, you can rent it by room, and instead of having one tenant, it's basically you'll have four tenants. And the cool thing about it was, um, so you can modify that house. Let's say it's four-bedroom house as you buy it, and when you modify it, it becomes, let's say, it becomes seven or eight bedrooms. So then you can rent to seven or eight individual people living in your house instead of renting it as to one individual. So that was kind of the cool thing about it, because what happens is that you can modify the like all the living spaces that are not bedrooms. You can modify that to become bedrooms. So basically converting the living room, converting the dining room, converting like an office or any other space where you can actually put a room that qualifies for that. Any room or any space that qualifies into a room. And sometimes you may have a big living room and you divide it into two, so that it gives you in one two rooms in one room, so instead of one space. So that was the idea. So it was really cool. I kind of navigated that. I did my research, um, and I joined the group for Passplit. So there's a Facebook group. If you're interested in this idea, you can join that room, that space or that Facebook group, and you can learn all about that concept. Now, in this video, I realized that after I joined that group, I've listened to people, I've seen what they're talking about. I And after calling the Passplit guys a few times, and after researching some properties, here are the 10 points that I made that is not, I'm not gonna, basically, I'm not gonna be doing Passplit for now. So, and I'll stick to what I'm doing for these 10 reasons. So here we go. Number one, it's gonna be a job. It's gonna be a job, whether you like it or not. It's gonna be a job. You'll have you'll have seven people, eight people living in your property, and you don't have one tenant. You have multiple people. So it's gonna be the need for those people is different. So you have to realize that while you think you'll have more income, it's you're gonna put more time. You're gonna put more time and to manage that place, or you're gonna give it to a property management company, and they will charge you about 15%, and I'm not sure, maybe 15 to 20%, and you better make money at that time. So it's basically it's a job. That's number one. Number two, you're basically running a hotel, right? I mean, let's be serious about this. You're running a hotel. You're running a small hotel in your house, right? So back to the point number one, it's a job. So because you're not sticking one tenant there. You don't put a tenant there and you forget about them. No, this is more like like a hotel job. It's you're gonna have to manage these people, and any conflict and all that. You're gonna put the time, and you're gonna put the time and money to manage it. So that's number two. Number three, Okay, so in Padsplit, the tenants are called members, and with this model, the members will be contacting you more. So there versus a one tenant, like I said before, you will be getting multiple calls, emails through Padsplit requests from these members, because you have 7 now, you have 8 or 7. So here you go. So welcome to that world. You have 7 people to manage instead of one. That's 7 times the time, and they're living in one house. So you got that. Plus, you'll actually you can actually once they know you're the owner, because past it, they 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 say that they will manage the tenants or the members of Fastbit, but I think that what I heard is that once these members know that you're the owner, okay, and now they will actually contact you more than they contact Fastbit, whether you like it or not, because now they have a direct contact information with you, and they know you're the owner. Or here you go. If they have any maintenance issue, they call you. And if they have any issue with the other tenants or the other members of that co-living Padsplit, now instead of calling the Padsplit, now they know you as an owner, and they will be contacting you instead. Like, boom, why would we contact a third party? Here's the owner, will contact you. So expect that as well. Expect more people are gonna call you because you're the owner and they know it. They have your number. Boom. All right. So the fourth point here, the fourth item here, the fourth point. Passplit is now trying to put more responsibilities on the owner, like instead of putting it on the company itself, on Passplit. And an example of that I saw in the their Facebook group, is that now they're pushing like accepting children, okay, and they're doing that with their parents. If they have a member who is who's a father or a mother, and they wanna, and they have a children, it seems like they got into some troubles, and now what they're saying is that, oh, you can take children. We can take children. We cannot say no to children. And what happens is that they will say yes, and then because they want to avoid the fair housing rules, right? And so they want to avoid any kind of I believe it's going to be avoid any kind of discrimination, and that's fine. But then if they do that, now the responsibility is going to be on you, the owner, to say, okay, if Passbit gonna take children, I'm gonna have to say yes. Or you can also choose to say no, but it's your decision. And if there's any issue, you're the one in charge, not them. So they took that liability from Passbit to you, the owner. You do whatever you want in your house. And so if there's any issue with fair housing rules, you're the one in charge, and it will come back to you and not to them. So just to keep that in mind, that's something that's new, that's with Padsplit, because before it was only the members, but now it seems like there's some push from Padsplit to give that responsibility to the owners. So I don't like that myself. I would rather the rules come from them, not from me as the owner, so that it's less responsibility basically, and I have to take that. All right. So the other point, number 5, owners, like us, will not be in control of what Padsplit makes. Like the Padsplit rules can change from day to day or 1 year to another, and we are basically not in control of that. So they can change the rules, okay, and you may come across a rule in the future that you don't like, and boom, now you don't want to run a Padsplit. You wanna quit that job, or you wanna quit having these members in your house because that rule is affecting you and you don't like that. Okay, because this rule can happen. If it's not doesn't happen today, it may happen tomorrow. They may create a rule, and every owner should follow that. And if you don't like it, then quit their platform and take your house out of their platform, and just like that. So I personally don't like that because I'm not in charge of my house and my rules. And if Padsplit want to put some rules there, okay, well, they will do it. And they will do what helps them. And yes, they will try to help the owners, but it's them first, the company first. So they want to try to, put these rules that helps the company and pass it to the owners. And if you like it, okay, great. If you don't like it, well, that's your problem. So now, after all you did with Padsplit, and after you put the property on the platform, you have the members, and you did all the modification you needed in the house, and here you go, one rule, one policy in Padsplit, and you're out of the game because you don't like to follow that, or it just kind of affects you, and it doesn't fit what you want from that model. And so here you go. So now it goes back to you. So yeah, it's kind of hard because you don't have the control anymore. Number 6, if you have, because you have 8 members or uh, 7 members in your house, it's one single family house. You have 7 people living there, 8 people living there. Well, if one tenant causes damage, you can let's say in my long-term houses, I have one tenant, right, and their family. But if they cause a damage to the house, I can go back and charge them that those fees, right? I can fix it and go charge them those fees. But with Padsplit, you have multiple tenants, you have multiple members, and so if someone causes your drainage to block your drainage because they put either uh, you know paper towels, or flushable paper towels, or anything else. Well, how are you supposed to know who is to charge this fee to, right? Who caused this problem? You have 7 people, 8 people. So now it becomes a challenge, and in regular long-term leases, you specify your rules, you specify your what to do, what not to do, and if a tenant, it's one tenant and their family, if they cause that problem, well, you have the right to actually charge them back, charge them to their deposit. But if you have multiple people, there's basically no way other than putting um, putting cameras inside of the house, which is kind of very creepy. Putting a camera inside of the house and monitoring people and what they do, and it's not a good model. So basically, yeah, if someone causes a problem that costs $700, break a window in the living room, or in a common area, for example, like the kitchen, and you don't know who caused that, well, you can spend that money out of pocket. If they block the drainage, and you don't know who caused that, that's your problem too. And if they damaged your kitchen and you don't know who did that, it's also your problem. Now, I think it's more common that you put cameras outside of the house just for security, but I think it's very not normal to put. That's my understanding from the group, and I've seen that it's not normal to put cameras inside of the house. Therefore, it becomes very challenging to charge anything to these people because you don't know who did that. All right. So number 6, if you have only one bad member, right? If you have one only bad member out of 6 or out of 7, okay, and he caused the problem, well, guess what? Everyone there, what's gonna happen? Everyone there, he's gonna affect or she's gonna affect everyone in the house, right? If he causes the toilets to be dirty, then everyone's gonna be kind of pissed if they share the toilet with them. If the kitchen is dirty, if the fridge is dirty, if the any common area like the floor is dirty, okay, it's gonna affect all the members. The other members might be very nice and clean, okay, but you have one member only that he's he's not clean. He doesn't clean after himself or herself, and then they come back from work. Everyone's tired, and you got the kitchen is in bad shape. It's dirty. They don't want to eat there. They don't want to cook there. They don't want to. The fridge is full of his leftovers, and it smells bad or something, and they don't want to put their stuff anymore there. Or the kitchen cabinets are. And he filled it with stuff and he didn't clean it, so now it starts to smell and it attracts like insects. Well, that's gonna piss people off, and they don't wanna put their stuff in there. So one bad apple in that whole house can cause everyone to be not comfortable anymore, and they don't like it. Now they can contact you and you can solve that, but every now and then you get one of these bad apples, and then here you go. You have to deal with people may want to leave. They may not, and that cause vacancies in at your unit. So the people may want to leave. They want to deal with that anymore. They want a clean place. One other example here is that you just someone who I've seen in some Padsplit, and they were talking about like you have one male, and he works every day. He works half naked in the house, okay, and the house has have also females. So and it's kind of that. I mean, that's not. So he's just feeling like he can do whatever he can do, working half naked in the house, and I think people are not gonna be happy with that, so that's gonna affect people there again. So that's just another example of what I've seen in the group, what owners are complaining about, and yeah, and people will complain to the owner. So that's more just more stuff there. Okay, so number 7. Income for Padsplit, as I said in the beginning, the income is going to be higher than what you get as a long-term tenant. But you, as an owner, will have to pay all the expenses for that house. Like, you're going to pay everything. So keep that in mind, because now let's say you make 2,000 as a long-term rentals, and you made, let's say, 3,500 as a Padsplit. Well, guess what? In the long-term rental, you're not paying their electric, you're not paying gas, you're not paying water, you're not paying for cleaning, you're not paying for trash, and you're not paying for the lawn. You're not paying for all that, and I forgot there's other expenses too. But you're not paying for all. But the biggest one are the electric. But in Padsplit model, you're gonna be responsible for everything. So you're gonna pay for all these expenses, all these utilities and maintenance and cleaning. Well, now, yes, you are making 3,500, but also you are, other than your mortgage, you're paying for the utilities, and you're under the mercy also of people who are kind of don't care. So if they run the AC, you have the AC on, and they want to open the window, well, guess what? In the summer, and let's say you're in a hot area like here in Texas, or anywhere else, and basically If you let that guy just open the window, you don't know. Well, your bill, basically, you're gonna have a bigger bill than anyone else. So I want to put that in perspective. Yes, it's true to have more income, but it's also, you're gonna think about it. You're paying for all these expenses. You better make profit. You probably make profit, but now you have a job and you're spending more on utilities, and so that's something to keep in mind. Your expenses will grow very much higher than if you have one long-term tenant who is paying for basically for everything. So I want to put that also there. Okay, so some owners or some new investors are going directly to. So that's number 8. Some investors are going to the Padsplit uh, uh, um, route directly without owning long term, and so, and I understand that if you are in an area where your it's hard to cash flow. If you buy a long term rental, like it's gonna be hard to cash flow, and with Passlit, with the extra income that you're getting from Passlit, or say you say, okay, well, it seems like I can go ahead and I can make some profit with Passlit, and so it's gonna be maybe you make more money with Passlit. Basically, you can probably cash flow, but then you keep in mind also that what's called uh, the income, this ratio that is called uh, the cash flow, or it's called the, I believe it's called the profit to BS ratio, or yeah, I think it's called the profit to BS ratio. Basically, it's, you have to measure the profit and you have to measure how much BS you're getting out of that for that profit. So if you're getting some profit and a lot of BS, is that worth your time? Is that worth your effort? Now, if you're getting more profit and less BS, right? And then that's probably what you want, right? Because you want your life to be easier. So, yes, you may make some profit, but the amount of work you're putting and the amount of BS that you have to deal with is probably, would it be worth it? That's the question. Would it be worth it? That's the question. Number 9, before the last one, I want you to stick to this to the last to the I want you to stick to the end of this video. We're almost there, because I'm going to give you the tip also on how to buy Passsplit and stay maybe in a better shape and a healthy shape. Number 9, the insurance for Passsplit is going to be higher. So if you're going to go and tell the insurance that you're doing Passsplit or co-living or rent by room, they are going to charge you almost double the insurance that you will be charged for a long-term rental. So keep that in mind, because some one of the things I asked about, and every Passsplit owner probably did, once they approach the insurance company, they will ask them, it's within the question, or maybe they will ask, or they will say in their contract that no co-living, no rent by room, or they will ask you up front. So if you do that and you don't tell them that, then you're probably violating their policy. Okay, so if you rent by room, you're violating their policy. Now, if you tell them, once they know that, they may decline, or they will actually charge you double what they charge any other house, any single family house in your area, because so that, because their criteria is now different. You're running another business, so keep that in mind. So insurance is up double what you pay normally for a long-term tenant, other than the utilities cost that grows higher, that we talked about. And then also, it's hard to fill all the rooms. So when you, that's number 10. It's hard to fill all the rooms for Padsplit. I've seen over and over again in the Padsplit group that people, they run their numbers based on filling 7 or 8 rooms, but they end up filling 5 to 6. So they end up not filling the last room, and that room is their profit. That room is their, because the first 4 rooms, let's say, pay for the mortgage. The 5th room pay for half utility. The 6th room pay for all utilities. Now, how much are they making? They depend on that last room to be filled. And I've seen over and over again that Padsplit, they may help to fill 5 rooms, maybe even 6, but they usually, there's some vacancy. It's 1 room or 2 rooms that are vacant in that house, and that's basically the investor profit. If you don't fill that, you're not making any money. So it's kind of hard to deal with that, because rooms are not always filled. So keep in mind, if you have a house that has 7 bedrooms, you think that you're getting, you know, $400 a month for each bedroom. Or keep in mind, you may not fill the last room. So keep in mind that you may fill 5 or 6, not 7. So keep your pro forma, or your analysis, your underwriting based on that, because that's important. And I've seen that over and over again. People are complaining, owners, Padsplit owners are complaining that they're not filling these rooms, and it's an issue for them. So here we go. So keep underwriting your deals conservatively with less rooms, and keep vacancy high, because that might be the reality, and you don't want to just run into that problem. All right, so one bonus point I want to give you, we did 10, from 1 to 10, all the issues I've seen with Padsplit, and why I don't want to maybe consider, may not buy a Padsplit house at this time. But I'll give you one bonus point. When you want to sell this property, when you sell it, well, before you do the appraisal, you're going to have to modify the house to its original shape, because not everyone is going to buy a house that, there's no living room, there's no dining room, and you've taken every single space in the house and converted it to a room. So you may have to have the cost, so that costs money, and you may have to, you will probably have to modify the house to its original shape before you converted it to Padsplit model, and that may cost you $10,000, $20,000 just to do and break up these walls and do a demolition, work on the floor, and do all that. So keep that in mind. For if you want to sell the house with a Padsplit model, you spend money up front to convert the house to more bedrooms, from 4, let's say, to 7. But then when you want to sell it, well, you want to, now, not every homeowner who's going to home occupy this house is going to buy a house that has seven bedrooms and no space, basically, to do whatever they want, no living room. So you have to spend that money again to sell it, and for this house to appraise. Now, there's another idea about that, is that you may be able to sell it as is after Padsplit modification to another Padsplit investors. But now your pool of buyers will be shrinking from every buyer to just Padsplit investors. Not every investor, it's just the Padsplit investors who wanna rent by room. So your house may not get, you may not get the money you want, the price you want for the house if you want to sell. So that's your bonus. Now, because you stick to the last because you stick to the end of the video, here's your last tip. And just to protect you when you buy Padsplit, or you think of doing this model. If you buy a house, you want to do it for Padsplit, you want to run Padsplit, co-living, or rent by room, the most important thing you have to do is to run this house as a long-term rental, LTR. Basically, think about it as what if Padsplit did not succeed in this house? What do I do? Can you still rent it to one tenant and pay your mortgage and taxes and insurance, pay your basically the PITI? Can you still do that? So my tip to you, my advice is that always buy a house that you want to run Padsplit on, but at the same time, as a backup plan, as a plan B, if you decide one day you don't want to run Padsplit, or some rules change it, your town shut them down, okay, your city shut them down, you don't want to do that anymore. If you run it before you buy it as a long-term tenant, as a long-term rental, and it still cash flows or still pays for itself, then that's my tip to you. Always run it as a long-term rental, because that would help your bottom line, do not lose money if Padsplit doesn't work, or if you don't want to run it, or something happens with Padsplit. So with that tip, here's the end of the video. It's more than half an hour now, but I wanted to go through these steps 1 to 10, these items, why I don't want to run Padsplit at that time after I considered it for over a year. Now I still may still consider Padsplit. I may still do it if I find the right property and maybe the right price and all that. I still can run the property as a successful long-term rental if Padsplit doesn't work. So I may still consider it. So but as of now, I'm not considering it now. I'm not buying a Padsplit after I thought about it and after I've seen everything, and I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. This is me personally. You made your own decision. This is not an advice or anything, but this is what I've seen, and this is what I'm doing in my business as of now. So I hope that was helpful, and thank you. If you liked this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye bye.